Hey everyone. I'm just going live because I'm just continuing to work on the webp converter tool, doing some other things. It's been a bit hectic. Collaboration meeting with someone and some other stuff. And I'm just working on the code. It's been a bit. It's isn't. I don't want to say it's been total fun because it's not been totally fun because what you find is that a lot of people have a view or opinion about the code, not the usability of it. There are quite a lot of people that have used it or tested it out and they're really, really happy with it. But there's always going to be some that go, well, what about this? What about that? And I'm going to create a version 2 of it that I'm actually working on at the moment. I was working on it quite late last night as well. And I'm working on another version, but there will come a point where I will be like, I can only do so much on it, and I'll make it as damn good as I can make it. But there are some like requests that some people, mail on notes, stuff like that, which I'm not going to say they are over the top, but it's like they're expecting this to do far more than what I envisaged it to do. And sometimes some people have said, oh, I had a problem here or problem there, or my host provider, or I used it. There was a problem. And then I went to get my backup, and my backup, even when I reloaded it, my back end files were still corrupted. And I'm like, well, that's down to your backup. That's down to that's not that's down to whatever you got set up. So I am trying to improve it and make it much better. Yeah, Tom, Grock is good, isn't it? I think the trouble is though, when Grock 3 came out and everyone was like, oh, it's associated with Twitter. Oh, Elon Musk and all of that. A lot of people were like anti it. I was like, I'm happy with Chat GPT, right? I know there's Claude and all these other ones, but I was happy with Chat GPT and DeepSeek, and I found DeepSeek a little bit better than Chat GPT on some occasions. And I was working through this code, and I couldn't get it to. Every time I went back to Chat GPT and DeepSeek, I was running them parallel to see which one gave me a better answer, and they both kept falling over or whatever. And then I thought, right, let's just try Grok. First time, it got it, and it explained it, and it clarified it, and it gave me a solution, and it pointed out some other stuff that I hadn't even considered. And I was like, this seems to be miles better. And even with the WebP converter tool, I am doing it on Grok 3 at the moment. Again, ChatGPT, it's like its thinking only goes so far, and then it starts to make mistakes. I can see the mistake in the code because I do look at the code, or it overlooks something, or it gives you the code, and you're like, my code was 500 lines. The result is now 200, and you go, where's the other 300? And it goes, oh, sorry, and it gives it to you again, and it's still missing stuff. Whereas Grok, when you say give me the full code, it gives you the full code. And it doesn't say, sorry, too much processing time. I'll give you the code in chunks. ChatGPT does that still sometimes. So I have found that, uh, yeah. Hey, Nyan, how you doing? Hey, Chillster, by the way. I also tried it after your video. Is it free? Yeah, at the moment, it's free. At some point, they are going to start charging for it, I bet. And if they do start to charge for it, this is where I have to have a real good think because ChatGPT 4 right now, as of like this week or last week, has totally changed the game with image creation and handling words and being able to use like a base model or your face and integrate and all of that. It's really good. Create adverts. There's so much greatness about it with ChatGPT image creation. If you've not gone and tried out ChatGPT 4's images, you've got to try it out. But when it comes to coding, Grok is pretty good. Don't get me wrong, though. There are some things I'm asking it to do, and it does get it wrong, and then I have to go back and rephrase my prompt or try another tack. So it does make a few mistakes still, but then that's machine learning, isn't it? Hey, Trent, hope you're okay. Dave S9, Liquid Media, hope you're okay. Yeah, Chillster, ChatGPT does forget stuff. It does forget stuff. ShootFX, thank you for recommending Slim SEO. I just moved from Yoast and love it. Isn't it so simple? Hey, You could almost say it's too simple, but it's so easy for you to just to go and update your meta title and descriptions and just make sure you've put your keywords in places, and hopefully you've got into the habit of doing your alt images and think about your URL for your pages and the titles and your H1 and H2. And if you think like that, you don't need to tick every box, because that's the trick Yoast and Rank Math do. You think, wow, I'm doing amazing work here for SEO. Not really, you know. And at the end of the day, you could maximize your SEO like loads, but if you don't market the blog post or signpost people to it, or you don't have a newsletter where people will click and read it or have any interest, you could spend £1,000 a month on SEO. You could even advertise and do sponsored stuff and whatever, but it ain't really gonna drive people in. So you just got to be. It's more for me. It's the content for sure, but also it's down to marketing. But it's good to see that you've invested in Schema. So, Nyan, why can't we apply CS on WooCommerce variation selector? I've got a video on that. So if you go and look for WooCommerce variation, I've got a video on how to do that, on how you can modify the whether you got a checkbox, radio button, selectors, different items, all of that. I've got CSS code that you can just take using CSS basically, which is why it's CSS code. But you can go and do that. So if you go over to my channel, because you're on it right now, go over to the videos, hit the search button, the search icon, and type in WooCommerce variation, right? And you will find a video that I did about, I can't remember now. It might be a year ago, might have been a bit late, earlier, I don't know, but about a year ago. And it's where I fully customize the variation and how it looks. And I give you about 3 or 4 examples kind of thing. Where can I donate you? Shoot FX. Do you know what? Some people have said that to me. Well, you can just go to my PayPal, right? You can just go to PayPal and pay there or something like that. Or that's a good point actually. How can you? Well, you can donate here actually. So on YouTube, there's a show your support for Web Squadron. You can do a donation there if you want. You just click that, and you can do that if you want. All proceeds are thanked very much appreciatively. Hey Phil, how you doing? I need to make sure I don't lose track of what I'm doing here at the moment. I'm working on my webp converter tool at the moment, making a few changes here and there. In fact, the changes I'm making are what I think they're quite significant in what I'm doing. And I hope people eventually will like what I've done with it. But like I said, there will come a point where I can't satisfy everyone, right? We know that, don't we? I can't satisfy everyone. So there will come a point where people will say, oh, but what about this? What about that? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? And I'm just going to have to say, look, you're going to have to work it out yourself kind of thing. Or you have to fork it or make your own version or something, because this is a free plugin. Loads of plugins out there are free. But the amount of time I'm putting into this, there's never going to be a premium version of it. Someone could take the code and package it and do a premium version. I won't be happy if they do that. I won't like it that they've taken something that I've put time and effort into it. But then if it's open source coding done with a bit of AI, and there's been quite a few people actually that have said, either to me directly or in responses, or I've seen them in forums or whatever, because someone might have put my video in a forum somewhere and I happen to know about it. And they've just said, this is garbage. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is rubbish. Why do we need this? Why do we need this when we've already got WebP converters? I think they're missing the point that a lot of the other ones, there's a premium. You got to pay sometimes for the amount of credits you use to do conversion. Or the conversion tool only does that, whereas I'm trying to give you scaling, converting, getting rid of the files and database images, cleaning up here and there. And I'm doing quite a lot of improvements on it at the moment. Video boy, when will you update the WP setup and optimization guide? Do you mean the one on my website? Do you mean the one on my website? Because that will be happening soon. Hey, Rashad from South Africa. Hope you're going okay. Bill, all proceeds go to the Pepsi Fund. You're damn right it does. Hey, Steve. Hey, Crypto UV from India. Hope you're doing all right. What's the weather like over there? It's pretty nice. It's not scorching hot, but the sun really is out, which is great for the solar panels. Can anyone outline the difference between site mailer and send? Okay, right. So send is like you can collate people that fill in a form or your WooCommerce customers into groups that you can then send out campaigns or newsletters. So think of it like a newsletter tool. The site mailer is just for the post, like your STMP, sorry. It's just for that kind of stuff. Does send, I mean, it is a gray area because even I'm still a little bit unsure. I believe from the research I did when I asked them that you won't need site mailer and send, but I always feel like I don't want to say that until I am absolutely crystal clear. The site mailer is just for ensuring that if you send out any emails, your email address does not end up in the spam box, because that does happen. Send is miles better in what you can do with campaign and newslettering. Yeah, do you know what it is, Phil? Do you know what it is, Phil? Every time I say it, my brain goes STMP, SMTP. I always do this, right? You know, it's like when I used to work in NHS and there was a hospital called, so there was one hospital was UHL. There was another hospital which was called ULHT. And I kept saying UHLT. It really annoyed people. I went, look, you know what I'm talking about because I said T at the end. You know what I mean, but just let it go. Rashad, use your conversion and it worked perfectly. Just tried making it a plugin. Do you release it? No, I'm not releasing it as a plugin. But what I will say, Rashad, is that if you release it as a plugin, right, you're opening up a can of worms in terms of looking after it kind of thing. So I would say if you want to do that for yourself, that's okay. If you make it commercially available, you got to remember, I don't work for you kind of thing. And a code snippet is just a code snippet. But the minute you, yeah, if you do it for yourself, it's okay. So yeah, just be careful about that, okay? Nick, I think site mailer is for improving delivery. Yeah, it is. Yeah, send is marketing. That's absolutely right. It's a, if you're using MailChimp or MailerLite and other stuff like that, you may want to consider send. Really quick and easy to set up. And it does a lot of what you would normally do with other newsletters, but it does quite a bit more. Yep, acronyms do my head in. Crypto, do you often face CSS issue with Elementor Carousel where... no, I don't. It very much depends, Crypto, on what other plugins and optimization you got. That can wreck it. Jetpack always wrecks your carousel. Historically, it always does. Stavros, would you like your opinion on which... you want my opinion on which framework combination would you go for? Right, I'm going to tell you now, okay? I don't use, I'm quite happy to build my own. I have to be honest here, okay? I got nothing against, core framework, ACSS, advanced theme, anything out there, okay? I got nothing against them because they all have their strengths, right? I prefer just to build my own CSS framework with my class names and all of that and then apply it. I don't want to build something and then there's an update or something like that that changes things and then I have to go back and learn or watch a video. Because you never ever, be honest here, right? How many of you use one of these framework plugins and you use every single feature and setting? How many of you do? And if you do use any of the feature settings, which one do you use? Because the only ones I care about are like my padding, my margin, my font clamp, maybe my buttons, maybe some nav. some images maybe, and that's it. I don't need to go crazy on everything else. So, and I'm not saying that as a criticism because someone's bound to say, oh, you're saying negative stuff, but I don't mean that. What I mean is, I only need to do that, right? So that's all I'll build in my custom CSS. I'll control it there and I'll be fine. And it's lightweight. And anytime I want to make a change, I know where to go and I do it. I don't have to go into another plugin and go, oh, that's a different feature. Oh, that's a different tab. Oh, well, what's that? Oh, where do I go? Oh, if I touch that, does that touch this? I know exactly what I'm doing, kind of thing. Phil's got a killer transactional mail service. Killer. Is that one you built? Stavros talking about Bricks Builder, right? Okay. Russia, do you have any experience with Give plugin for donations? Oh, what do you recommend for WordPress sending emails? That's probably your SMTP. You need to have a look at that. You need to look at who's the host provider, who's the email provider, and just check my cats are okay. Yeah, you just got to look at stuff like that. Because if you've got a GoDaddy host provider and your email is Hotmail, they don't work. You better get post SMTP. Which optimization plugin do you use? I like to use FastPress and Code Snippets. Go and watch my 2024 video. If you're asking me a question, you should know. You need to go over to my website, learn.websquadron.co.uk. Scroll down, you're going to see the plugins I use, and it does tell you in there what my optimization ones are. I like to give a blunt answer when people ask me this, because basically it means you haven't gone to my website. You go to learn.websquadron.co.uk, you scroll down, and you'll see the plugins I use for non-e-commerce or an e-commerce, basically WooCommerce website. And it will tell you my core go-to plugins that I always use. And the only two paid premium plugins on that list are Elementor Pro or Grid Builder for if you want to have some funky filtering. Yeah. Stavros, because I have not used bricks a lot, yeah, I specified them in my CS file or the global class system. Stavros. Yeah, okay, yeah, so basically I am making some tweaks, pretty big tweaks to what I released yesterday. A lot of it is kind of on the back of some feedback where people felt like, what about this? And it's like, they are right. Their idea has got legs. So let's try and build that in. Others are because some people are just never happy and they're always going to say, oh, but it, you know, blah, 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 blah. So there were some little tweaks I wanted to make the code more robust. And make it work. Basically, it works. Some people have said it removed loads of images. I've gone back to them and going, well, where were those images? And what was it about your setup? And some of them get a bit cagey. And I'm like, well, you know, maybe you would have had that problem even if you'd used a webp converter plugin, right? Or some have said it doesn't work at all. Have you got GD or Imagic? Oh, I don't know. Have you checked with your host provider? No. Well, go and check it. It's in the description of the video. Right at the bottom of the video, I do say note, important. You must make sure all this stuff. Some people have used it without making a staging site or a backup. And then they've gone and said, I lost my product images. All of this is being sorted out in the new version, okay? I've lost my product images or my post images or something went blank. I go, right, okay, just roll a backup. An update is coming, right? Because I know it was fine on some people. Yours, there was an issue. I don't know. Maybe it's because you got other themes or third-party plugins and stuff kicked in there. I don't know. And then they kind of go, oh, but I haven't got a proper backup. Well, that's not my fault. Okay, if you have not got a proper backup or you don't know how to restore or you are using a backup, like you need to be using something more robust, okay? And you need to ensure that your host provider also has an inbuilt backup system as well. So many people don't do this. Phil, oh, this is your email service, Sendomatic. 9 pence per 1,000 emails. You know, I mean, that's ridiculously good. That is, you know, $1 for the whole year. That's ridiculously cheap. And if it works and does the job, I think someone mentioned Sendomatic to me a while ago, and I never got around to properly looking at it. Rashad, I have an idea. I'd like to collab with you. How do I contact you? Well, the thing is, though, Rashad, yeah, so obviously there's my email, info@websquadron.co.uk. I'm not gonna. What I would want to know, and you might put it here if you want, is what's in it for me. If we collab together, what am I gonna make out of it? Because I don't do free stuff except the code snippets and things and videos I record for free. But what is it about your collaboration? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? And if you say I can help record videos for a plugin or something, I don't want to know. Okay, I don't want to know because they have to come and pay me, and if they don't pay me, I don't want to know. That's me being really blunt and blank about that. I get a bit wound up by people that do message me sometimes on Facebook quite a bit. Like they don't properly respect like boundaries, in my opinion. Like they want me to clarify exactly what I meant by XYZ, and I feel a little bit like just read it and you'll understand. Just quickly going through some Facebook messages. I'm just approving some people into the group, by the way. I'm doing about 4 things at the moment. I'm talking live chat. I'm looking at the comments. That classes as 1. Improving the code. Improving the code. Oh, get lost. Sorry, it's just, again, there's this issue where if I create a code and a tutorial like the Apple mega menu and it's not working for someone, they want me to explain exactly why not. The only way I can do that is if I log into your website. So you'd have to make a backup and give me login because I know it works, but it might be that you've skipped a step or there's something, I don't know. And then when I say you're going to have to pay for that, they get really funny about it. Yeah, but you did the video. It's your code. I followed the video and it's not working now. You know, I'm not paying. Quite frankly, fuck off. All right, that's the truth of it. Okay, I've done it. I tested it on 3 different sites. I always test out and it works. You could have some optimization that's caused an issue. You could have another plugin. You could have something else. It could be a theme. I don't know. I cannot build codes to work on every website. I know that if you got a standard WordPress or you got Elementor or using bricks, it'll be fine. If you've got something else that is jiggery pokery with the code or the back end, that's on you. You've got the code, right? For say off canvas something, right? You've got the code, you got your website, right? And for whatever reason, it's not working correctly. You go to the page source, right? You right click page source, you download the HTML for your page, okay? You then go over to Chat GPT and you say, look at this full page, you upload it. And you say to them, because inside of there, it will see the code you've added. Or if it ain't, you can paste that in as well. And you say, look, here's the page source, here's the code, and this is what it's meant to do. And this is what it's doing instead. Or it's not working, or it's not appearing, or it's doing more than it should. Please advise me. And the AI, 99% of the time, will trawl through and direct you as to what is the problem. But people don't want to do that. They're like, oh, I used your code, it's not working. Well, what? You want me to work it out? What? Just sit there and go, oh, the code's not working for them. I wonder why. Do you really want me to do that? No, you need someone to inspect it, but you're not going to pay for my time to go and inspect it. Well, I don't mean to be funny here, but no, you know, that's how it is. Okay, just coming down to what the questions are down here. Phil, Oh, headless WP. Sorry, we're talking about that thing. Yes. So, what's this? Yeah, look. So, yep. Wait, I'm improving things. What's that? So I'm just making a change here. Just writing what's that standard WordPress post. Um, yeah. And another thing also is sometimes I feel like, why do I bother spending time creating these solutions? Because if it works for me, and it works on my client websites, and it works on a few other people websites who are nothing to do with me, and I've never seen their website before, I'll save it away. I won't ever share it. It's my secret little thing that we'll use, okay? But the minute you put it out there, people just want to jump on you and start like slapping you out and everything. Shane, background image is not working after running the webp snippet. Completely my bad. Ended up being a cache issue, so I deleted post. Oh, what's this then, Shane? Sorry, Shane. I haven't seen that comment, Shane. So what was it then? So background images weren't working. I know they work. I know they work because the new code I'm working on works, kind of thing. So was there a caching issue for you? And that's the other thing as well. I think a lot of people sometimes they don't click regenerate CSS. Ben, haven't been here for a while. Hope you've been doing well. Did you try optimizing a large amount of images? Yes, Ben. So the website I tested on one website that had 4,145 images. By the way, the new version will now properly take into account images that are in the upload folder or the year month folders as well, but it will not touch plug-in folders. The new version is now being even more prescriptive. Have I ever looked at Classic Press? Nope, can't be bothered. Not my cup of tea. Right. So AVIF is better, right? But I need to make something really clear to everyone. Okay, AVIF is better. However, AVIF, right, will only work on an iPhone from version 16. If I'm correct, can someone check with this? But version 16, I believe, came out in 2024. Can someone just double check? iOS version 16 was 2024. If you've got anyone who's got a phone or an older phone and they're not on iOS 16. I mean, right now, what are we on? I think we're on iOS. Are we still on iOS 17? No, 18. Oh, I can't remember now. Where are we? Yeah, we're on 18 now, 18.3. Okay. So if there's anyone like there may be like you're giving your phone to someone, it might be an older phone. If yeah, 2020. Was it 2022? Was it 2022? Might be then. So if someone's got a phone that has not got iOS 16 or later, they cannot see AVIF on the mobile. So I still feel, because the major browsers, Edge, Chrome, Firefox, I believe, Safari, they can all handle AVIF, right? But I am not fully convinced that AVIF is safe fully. Because I'll tell you what, about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was going on and on and on about WebP, and even then, people were going, "Whoa, no, you can't do WebP, you can't do WebP." I mean, the usage of WebP 3 years ago was huge. It was fine, but even then, even now, people still get funny about WebP. So AVIF, right? Personally would like to wait maybe this time next year. I don't want to rush into it. I still feel like there's an audience out there where the minute you go to AVIF, you may have an issue. This tool will evolve to handle AVIF when the time is right, but I'm not going to do it now. Can it do HEIC? So HEIC, mobile phone, that format, you got to convert it into a JPEG or a PNG before you upload it, you know, stuff like that. No, because your host provider will need some other features. I can't remember the name to enable HEIC conversion into WebP. And I don't want to go down that headache. I don't want to build it and then find out that 90% of users can't do that. You know, so that's something that's more down to educating your client, because there's so many of them. What they do is they take photos and they open their phone, log into WordPress, and they start adding them to the media library. And those images are humongously huge. Okay. In fact, some of them don't even import properly, which is another problem that comes with it. Venopop, no, Venomop. Right, so you want to make a website for your web design business. Some people do lots of animations. You are right, but if you overdo it, how's it going to look on the mobile? Does it look too busy? Is it not clear enough? And it might annoy me. I'll be like, oh God, this is full of gimmicks. People can see gimmicks now, okay? People can see through that. So I would say keep it simple, because it kind of portrays how the website, how you like to style websites out, and it gives the user. I mean, I've seen people, right, where they do really flashy, amazing websites. But then when you look at their example websites, they're just using like Astra theme. You can literally see which starter theme it is. You can literally see it. So I kind of say, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Hey, Kevin. No, I have not. I have not. Do you know what? Yesterday, Kevin, obviously, I've gone and like sabotaged my reputation by doing my WebP conversion code snippet. Some people like it. Some absolutely hate it. I've had applause, recognition from it. I've had criticism. I'm improving it. I'm working on it. So yesterday, very, very, very late into the night and very, very early this morning, I've been just working on it, kind of thing. To the point where I haven't really got much time for anything else at the moment. Shane, I ran the WebP converter tool, front end showed nothing and gave a 404 because the JPEG was still showing. Oh, pressed a clear cache, then it worked. I mean, I would say purge your server, because obviously you're touching the files in your file and database. You know, you might be getting rid of something. Make sure you purge the server. Video Boy, does your snippet automatically replace non-WebP images used in pages? Version 1.2 did, to a point. The new version will handle that and a lot more from my testing. And I am testing on my website, a test website, 2 client websites, and then 3 other websites that are nothing to do with me, where they've got like massive websites. So I just run it and literally sit there watching the stats as things process through. Hey, Pickstar. Sorry, just to notice your name. How long have you been sat there, Pickstar? I wasn't looking at the screen properly. So I'm making improvements. I'm making changes to the code, and I hope it all comes good. I'm not going to rush out version 2 though. I'm going to get version 2 probably done by either tomorrow or Thursday, which sounds like I'm rushing, but I'm not. I want to have the time to put it through its paces and then to do a video to clarify exactly what the changes are. The video won't be like yesterday's video where I went through, you know, what I'll do is just go through, right, here it is. Here's how it looks. That's going to change. I'm going to make it sexier, better to look at, because it was just very flat on the screen. And then what are some of the changes? And there's loads. We're not just talking about a few. We're talking about loads of stuff in the back end to do that. So while we're here, I'm just going to double check a couple of comments that have come through on some. Yeah, okay. Again, like I said, and I kind of was worried that this would happen, that the moment you release a code snippet, this is going to be the same for anyone who releases a plugin or anything. If it doesn't work exactly the way some people thought it would work, you better be ready for the backlash. But some of the comments have been unwarranted, right? Some people have said, why did you do this? We already have plugins. They've completely missed the point of what this gives you and what control it gives you as well. And the fact that it will do stuff that none of the other plugins do, right? So many people overlook, because you don't see it unless you go looking for it, the duplicated images in your files and database, okay? If you go and load a 3840 image, I am not lying here, okay? If you load a 3840 image, you will get 10 versions of that image. You get the original and 9 versions. Sorry, not 10, 9. Right? You'll get a, I've got a, I've written, where is it? I had it written down. Somewhere. Hold on. I've lost it. Where is it? No, I've lost the paper. But you'll get like a 28 something like that. Then you get like a 1536. Then you get the 1048. Then you get the 768. Then you'll get the 534 or something. Oh, I can't remember now. Then you'll get the 300. Then you get the 150. And you might even get the 100 as well. Sometimes it goes and gives you a 100 by 100. And it's a pain in the flipping ass. It's all to do with metadata and the way things are registered in the back end. So responsively, WordPress, when you're on a page, responsively, it should then swap out your image. Maybe it's a 1920. It will go to, I missed out that number. It'll go from a 1920 to, say, 300. But it generates all of this, right? And if your original image was 9 megabytes, because it was a 3840 stupid size, right? You'll have a 9 megabyte size, then you might have a 3 megabyte size, and you might have a 1 megabyte size, and it goes down. But when you add it all up, you might have 15, 16 megabytes, right, for one image. That was never ever going to be a full width 1920. It was only ever going to be on your screen as a little 400 pixel width image. Because you're using it, you know, when you have like text and image. That's all it was ever going to be. There was never going to be a click and lightbox magnify. It was never going to be a full width. You know, none of that. 14, 16 megabytes in your back end for that? It's ludicrous, right? And even when you've converted it into WebP, a lot of people don't even realize this. You can convert it into WebP, upload it. The WebP might be 100 kilobytes, so that's pretty good. But you're still going to get the 9 other sizes, right? You're still going to get like the 2048, the 1920, the 1536, the 1024, the 768, the 534, the 300, the 150 by 150, the 100, maybe. Not always, but maybe. You get all of that. You get all of that. And you won't know about it until one day when you're doing a backup or you get a warning or your host provider comes knocking and says, whoa, your website is now 7 gigabytes in size. Then you're fucked, okay? Because then you're scrambling. You're deleting. You don't, oh no, I deleted an image and oh no, it's gone and I haven't got a copy. Oh no, I got to get a backup. Oh, flip my backup because it's so big. Ah. These are the problems. And I said it before, right? I said it before yesterday. I'm still pissed off that of all the improvements that WordPress make, I said this yesterday, so you've heard this before, but of all the improvements, so-called improvements that WordPress make to the core and all of that, they still have not thought, you know, we need to be open with people because in the media settings, we tell you about the thumbnail, the medium, and the large size. But we don't tell you about the fact that even if you zero them out, you'll still get another size and another size and another size. We don't tell you that they're hidden away in your files and database and they're clogging things up. That is, in this day and age, is criminal. But that's what I think anyway. Most of you probably won't agree with me on this, but I do think it's criminal that they still don't kind of do that kind of thing. Sorry if I've probably missed out a couple of comments at the moment. Shane's got a question. It's all well and good removing all the additional images that WordPress generates, but what about situations where you choose an image size in your page builder? Well, here's the thing, Shane, right? I'm one of these really weird people who always chooses full resolution. You know why? Because I just want the full resolution. Because there are times when I've gone to a website and they've probably selected the 300, right? Because that's all it was ever going to be. And then when I start zooming in on it, because maybe there's some detail I want to make out, I just get fuzzy blurriness. And I just find that if you go back 5 years ago, right, I probably would not be doing a lot of this. And I'd be saying to you, yep, you got to make sure you use the smaller size and all of that. That's what I would say. But if you put your thinking hat on here, right, just put your thinking hat on here. If you've got a 1920, no, hear me out on this, okay? 3840 pixel wide, 9 megabytes, right? Say you've got 4 of them on your page, right? They're spaced out, okay? Right, that's like what? 9 times 4, what's that? 36 megabytes just for the homepage. When you convert that image to a WebP, and it is still 1920. Again, I've had criticism about this. Imran does not know what he's talking about. Quite frankly, fuck off and think about it. 1920 as a WebP, I guarantee you will probably be in the region of about 130, 120, 100, maybe 140 kilobytes. Okay? It will be kilobytes. So even if you got 4 of them, let's just say it's 150. Let's just say it's 150 kilobytes. That's 0.6 megabyte. That ain't going to slow down your page, right? Because you'll see them as you scroll. They either lazy load or they load up, and it won't matter if an image appears 2 seconds later or whatever, right? Depending on your page speed and your host provider and whatever else you got going on, because it's further down, whatever. 36 megabyte compared to 0.6. Yeah, I get it. You're going to go, yeah, but you know, if you'd gone for the other size, it would have been even smaller. Yes, it would. But if you know you might want to use the 1920 at some other point, just keep it easy and simple for yourself. And I think so many people overlook this. You know, they sort of go, oh, full resolution. Ooh, 1920 and it's only that big. Ooh, you don't need that. Look at the file size. 9 megabyte, 130 kilobyte. Okay? Let me put it to scale. Right? Let me try and do it to scale. If we say that is 130, no, that's 130 kilobyte. I'm trying to look at my camera up there. 130 kilobyte. I mean, look, it's probably down there. That's going to be 1 megabyte, 2 megabyte, 3 megabyte, 4 megabyte, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're right up there now. You don't have to be a physics engineer, you know, or a mathematician expert, you know, or plot a bar graph chart or whatever to look at that and go, well, you know what? There's a point here. Hey, do you know what, right? PageSpeed Insights moans about a lot of stuff. Quite a lot of stuff, right? And not all of it matters, right? Not all of it matters. And when it, and what I will say is this, okay? You could have 100% page speed performance. You could have tick box for every core web vital. You could have, like, you know, you're hitting all of the metrics, right? Every single thing. You could even have 100% SEO, 100% accessibility, 100% on everything, right? Mobile, desktop, the works. You've spent a fortune, time, money, you've got the works. That does not mean you're going to make loads of sales. That does not mean you'll be on page 1 of Google. That does not mean you're going to get loads of customers and clients and leads. What matters is marketing. Because go and look at Apple. Go and look at their page speed score for Apple, desktop and mobile. Look at their SEO score. Look at their accessibility score. Look at their core web vital score. Look at all of that. Is my microphone too low? Is my microphone low? Did someone say it's low? VJ, is it low, VJ? Is it? Oh, hold on. It's because I'm probably not close to my mouth. What about now? Is that better? So when you start to think about a lot of these things, VJ, put your volume up. Maybe it's your volume, VJ. So page speed matters. Does your website load quick? It matters to a point, right? But does your website load quick? Does it load okay and quick or reasonably quick on a mobile when you're outside, so you're not in your home Wi-Fi? Social media, marketing, all of these things, driving people, videos, TikTok. What are you doing to get people? How are you building interest? That is going to matter more than 100%. I've seen people say, I've got super high scores. I've spent so much money, but no one's visiting my website. Or they're not really making money off it. And you go, well, what marketing are you doing? Well, they go, well, I did the SEO. I used rank math. I maxed it out. I go, yeah, brilliant. But I'm still on page 6. Okay, of Google. Okay, fine. But what marketing are you doing? What do you mean marketing? You know, I've done the SEO. I paid for an SEO expert. I got the Facebook pixel. I've got, other stuff feeding through and all of that. That doesn't matter. Well, it matters, but no, it doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't matter when things do matter a bit, but it's more down to marketing. And this is the biggest mistake so many companies and businesses make out there. I hired an SEO expert. They've gone and written 20 posts for me. And I've paid someone to create some social media stuff. And they post maybe twice a week. Big deal, right? If all you ever post is visit my website, buy this, visit my website, buy this, people lose interest. If you're not engaging and showing the real you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the highs, the lows, the pain points, the problems, the solutions, when you're not feeling well, when you're feeling amazing, your experiences, knowledge sharing, free tips and guidance, that will bring people to. Why are you all here watching me? Why are you watching me? Just because I'm live? Is that why? Why are you here? Tell me why you're here. Right, and be brutally honest. Is it because of the videos? Is it because you like the way I do things? Is it because you're just spying? Why are you here? Kind of thing. Rashad, some people will never get the point. Don't stress. Oh, I do stress. Right, respect. You're 14. You do web development. I focus mainly on it and I earn through it. Should I focus more on traditional education? I don't know, respect. How much are you earning right now? Are you earning enough where you can go, you know what? Fuck education. I'm going to do this. I don't mean to swear, by the way, but forget education. I'll do this. Right? You right? Or do you think, well, it's kind of okay, but what will the world be like in 6 years' time? AI, there's still a role for web designers, I believe, and a lot of other people believe. But where will the world be in 6 years' time? And I'm 20. And if you skip education now, are you going to look back and regret it? I would say the web design needs to be a side hustle until you get to a point in your life where you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this full time. Because right now, when you're 14, you can probably do so much. And there will be some businesses that do or do not want to work with you based on your age. People might take that into consideration. So I would say, do it as a side hustle. If you make money, invest the money. Don't go spending it on Nike Air Maxes and the latest iPhone. Save your money, okay? And work hard on your education. If education does not work out for you, go and get a job doing something else, right? Education isn't everything. Go and get a job. But in the sidelines, keep hustling until you get to a point where you go, you know what? I'm going to do this. Hey, John, how are you? I might reach out to you, John. You know, I need to talk to you about like some of your style changes because my code has massively changed, and I might get you to help out with some of the style changes. But I'll see what I'll see where I get to over the next few days on that. Thanks, Patrick, for saying you came here because I've got great content. I think so too, but then I am a bit biased. BJ, they want the website to be core web vital 100%. When someone said it's low, I say the actual user is not experiencing any issues, but they want to get it to 100%. That's the problem. Too many people get sucked into. I tell you what the problem is. There's lots of SEO experts out there that are telling everyone you got to get 100%. Hire me to get 100%, and people believe it. Just like with accessibility, there are people out there saying you're missing out on a chunk of the audience, you're missing out on sales and stuff like that, and you're going to get screwed and you're going to pay a fine, but they won't tell you about the exemptions. And was anyone who might be, say, blind or partially sighted really going to come and buy off your website? Were they really? Kind of thing. So scare stories, scaremongering, quite frankly, bullshit. Bullshit you into submitting to go with their platform or their tool or hiring them. All right. SEO experts were doing it for years, right? Oh, page one Google, web vitals, blah, 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 blah. You know, the whole SEO thing, you got to do all of that. Then we had the Google Core Web Vitals. People going, oh, your website won't be found on Google if you don't do that. Oh, you've got to do that. Now we have the accessibility gatekeepers. Oh, if you don't do that, you're going to get fined millions and millions of pounds, but we won't tell you that you're probably exempt because we want you to hire us. Do you know what I mean? So I cut to the chase. I'm not going to mess around. I'm not going to be apologetic for the way I think or feel because there's not enough of that. And I said it yesterday, okay? There's so many podcasts. There's so many things out there, okay? There's so many other forums and communities and groups. They always steer away from saying the truth because they want to just like float the boat. They just want to be on the boat and they don't want to get chucked off the boat. So let's stay on the boat and let's just toe the line. And I'm not saying anything here that I don't think a lot of people have thought about, or maybe they didn't because they believe. You got to do the Google Core Web Vitals. You got to do this. Now, I am not telling you to convert to WebP, but when the file size of your database matters and your website, like your backups are not loading properly or anything like that, and you haven't addressed the fact of how you have duplicated shit in your files and database, you're going to wish you took notice of that. Thanks everyone though for the comments, just reading here what you're saying. Crafty team, how you doing? Pickstar, imagine you have a website for a brand selling virtual reality glasses. Why should you optimize the website for people with sight issues, colorblind, whatever? They won't even... Exactly. This is what I mean, Pickstar, right? This is what I mean. It's like saying, right? No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. No, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say that. What are we talking about today? Sync with self. I don't know what we're doing. These chats are about WordPress, but less about the word, and you can forget the press. So I don't even know what we do half the time. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it, Shane. I don't know. I might do Shane. Like... No, I can't say it. I can't say it. No, I can't say it. I can't say it. Because if I say it, you'll understand, but someone's going to take offense to it. Because we're all different, but I just don't like how when there's an opportunity to scaremonger you to get your money, right? People go with it. It's like AI. Do you know how many adverts there are right now? Hey, learn to be an AI consultant. Pay $600, $700, $1,000 to become an AI consultant to earn $10,000. What are you chatting about? You can just go and learn AI yourself. So you're going to do a course where they'll teach you about what they're using now, not what's come out the next day or the next year or what might have been a better choice for you. How's that going to help you? just by learning AI, you're not going to make $10,000 a month. You're going to see them everywhere. All right. There's a company right now that has a few WordPress people in that group, right? And I'm ashamed when I see names in there. Come and join our $600-700 courses. We're going to teach you how to use AI to make $10,000 a month. Fuck off, right? Stop bullshitting and scaremongering people into thinking you can't be an AI consultant if you don't do this. Go and learn the tool you like. Learn to do image manipulation. Learn to do social media adverts. Learn to do prompting and whatever you want to do, right? And then start reaching out to companies. Hey, do you want us to help you out with this? Maybe you can use AI to really analyze health data. The NHS, you can freely get NHS data, right? You can go and get it from their national databases and websites. You can download it. Can you use AI to create your own special prompt to analyze and come out with opportunities and ways to reduce waiting lists or what's happening that should not be happening? Can you do that? And then you go out to the health authorities, you go out to the CCGs in the UK or the US. Can you do something to go to United Health Group in America with the health insurance? You do that. You might get hired. You make your money. But someone going, oh, I'll teach you how to be an AI consultant. Quite frankly, all I have to say is, all right. They scaremonger you into thinking that you can't make it without them. They're just scaring you into submission. And I hate that. I hate it when any one of you or anyone gets exploited and then they're sat there going, I'm not making money. Why am I not making money? Because they make you think that you do this course, you do that, and you're going to roll in money. No, the only way you will roll in money potentially is you. Learn what you want to learn, not what someone else tells you to learn. Learn what you want to learn, that you enjoy, that you believe in. And then you invest in yourself and whatever you have to, and you slowly build up. Never ever go, well, I want to make £1 million next year. Ain't going to happen. Might happen, probably won't happen. But you work to it. So maybe this year you make $10,000. Great. You still got 990,000 to do. The year after that, you make 5,000. Great. It was a shit year, but you're still making. Don't ever go, well, I'm making less than last year now. So what? You're still making. Live within your means. Reinvest in yourself if you have to. Learn what you need to learn. Develop, network, associate with people that might give you some mentoring or guidance or something. Watch videos if it helps you to learn. And then you go on from there. That's how you should do it. But don't ever sign up for any course where someone goes, hey, I'm going to help you make $50,000. Right? Do you know how they make 50,000? By you buying their course. And all they're going to teach you is what you could have got off online anyway. Nothing new, really. Nothing massively, majorly important that you couldn't have got for free or something. That's how they make their money. Off you. Rosemary, you bring big time value and you've helped me solve so many issues for free. You're just amazing. Oh, thank you, Rosemary Roberts. Or Rose. Thank you very much for that. I do get myself into trouble. I used to get myself into quite a lot of trouble when I worked in the NHS because I might just say it like it is. If something's not working, I was like, we need to shift the gear. We need to pivot. And people sometimes got offended by that. Or if I says, why are we spending money here? Why are we doing this? Sometimes people don't understand that we need to stop being politically correct. And if something is bad, we need to sort it out. Oh, Rosemary. Yeah, Rosemary, I would say, yeah, look, Divi 5, right, and all of that, you're probably going to find that you could still do the course and apply the way I do it and the way I approach it to Divi. You could do that, but I'm not going to say do that. If you may find that if you like, sometimes it's about the approach and the way I go about it. So I might say, right, we're going to do a call to action, right? So I'm going to think about dot, 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 and then I'm going to look into XYZ. And it might look different with the styling and the layout and all of that between Divi and Elementor, or even Bricks or Breakdance or anything else. But you should be able to apply that kind of thought process. You could watch a video about someone who's trying to tell a graphic designer how to make money for their business. Now, the graphic design is nothing to do with web design. No, in fact, let's just go with something different. An architect. There's a video about how an architect can get clients to improve their business. That's completely different to a web designer or developer. But are the tips and the knowledge and the thought process and the belief in yourself enough to make you go, yes, I'm going to try that. I'm going to give that code a go. I'm going to try and have a think about that. So, but I'll never say to you, go and buy the course or anything like that. I love it if you do, but I'm not one of these pushy salespeople kind of thing. I'm just going to check the times. I think I've been live for 1 hour. I've been live for 1 hour, and I was gonna continue with my code snippet. Since I started the live chat, all I've done is hit copy, and I still haven't pasted it. And now I'm thinking, I'm not too sure where I am in my train of thought now, so I might need to go back onto that. CM, because you sell courses, do you make a lot of money from your courses? People make 50,000 a month selling courses. That's fantastic if you do. No, I don't. I don't. But that's because if you look at the cost of my courses, right? I was selling them for like $50 and now it's $100. Compare that to someone out there that's charging $800 or $1,000 kind of thing, right? And what a lot of them do is they say the course is only available for say 2 weeks or a week. After that, the price goes up to double, and we're only gonna allow 200 people. So imagine you say we're only gonna allow 200 people because you buy the course and you also get to attend some webinars, secret webinars, right, and whatever. So 200 people rush in and they all pay 500 pounds, right? What's that? That's 10,000. Hold on. No. 200. No, flipping it. I can't be asked. My brain's gone dead. You know when you're talking a lot, your brain goes dead. So 200 times $500 equals $100,000. Is that right? 500, $100,000. Yeah, 200p, it's $100,000. That's how they make their money. But I don't do that. Mine is you can buy it whenever you want if you want to get it. So I might have a sale yesterday and then there's no sales for 2 weeks and there might be a sale. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of do it like that. I don't, I don't. I mean, the reason I don't increase my prices too much is because I want it to be accessible for a lot of you. Because I respect that a lot of my viewers aren't in the Netherlands or the UK, USA, Australia, or wherever. I know a lot of my people that watch the videos are from India, from African countries, or somewhere where, the economies of scale and all of that is not as generous as what we might be able to use and access kind of thing. So $50 for us, we're like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, no, why not? Yeah, I'll just get that course. $50 for someone, say, in Bangladesh. I believe someone told me that $50 is equivalent to 3 to 6 months rent in Bangladesh. I think that's what someone told me, or something like that. And that really blew my mind because at that point, I didn't fully respect that. I knew there was a difference, but I didn't fully appreciate the scale. Was it Sri Lanka or Bangladesh? Somewhere. Sorry if I'm getting them mixed up because I know they're in the same-ish area, right? But it was. I think it was Bangladesh, and they said it was 3 or 6 months. I think it was 6 months rent, and that then blows your mind, right? Which is why I don't just want people that can afford it to get it. I have to appreciate that people that watch my channel, because I can see the geographical locations. My biggest audiences are UK, not in any order, but my biggest audiences from the Western world or developed world are going to be UK, United States, Netherlands, Germany a bit as well. And then it's all spread out. The other big audiences are going to be like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, countries in Africa as well. So I kind of look at it and go, if I just start charging like $600 for my course, there's a fat chance that I've just nullified it. I've just ignored my other audience. And some people will say, well, who cares? Just make as much money as you can. I care. I do care. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now, right? Because I've been live and I've done zero work on what I was meant to be doing. I was gonna work on my code snippet and like back and forth. And I haven't. Right? And that's really bad of me. Thanks, Curtis. That's basically it. You know, I'm not going to lie. I put a lot of time and effort into those courses and the way I do it. And there'll be updates on it once we get version 4 of Elementor, and there'll be a new course developed and all of that. But I don't want to price out other people. Because I feel like, you know, there's someone here might be from South Africa. They may not be earning a lot. Why do I want to say thank you for watching my videos, but you can't get to join the course? I just don't like that. Alex, mate, you keep missing it. Hopefully tomorrow. All right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now, right? I'm going to say goodbye. See you all hopefully tomorrow, but it all depends on how I go with my code snippet, because I am actually quite stressed out. Rashad is from South Africa. There you go. Perfect example, right? Perfect example. If I said to you, Rashad, right now, okay, what is... tell me what $50 means to you from South Africa. What does that mean? Right? Or give me an idea of like how much rent would be in US dollars for 1 month in South Africa. For a normal house, right? I'm not talking about mansion, huge, you know, multiplex, just a normal house. What would be roughly the rent? Roughly. In South Africa in US dollars. If you don't know, you don't know. But if you can, that would help to just get my screen down here, just to help bring what I like to call the reality check. Rent is $300. So in the UK, you're looking about 1,000, more than that, about 1,400, 500 in some places. That's probably not a great example I gave there. I should give another one. We'll resume this tomorrow. Right, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. 3K in Sydney, Antonio. You can start to see the you know, like, for a month, yeah. You can start to see how, like, I know that $50 is what I call takeaway money. You know, it's like, yeah, we can spend that, go out for a meal or whatever, right? That's, you know, in the UK, the US, Australia, you know, you could say, yeah, it's, you know, $50, yeah, we can spend that, whatever, right? But $50 in other places it means a lot. Okay, everyone, I'm going to jump off now. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. Bye.